Knockoffs. That's the subject of this week's TFYTC homework. Now, I remember, oh God, about 2 years ago, I was very much in the camp of, oh well, if it's not Hasbro, then I'm not going to support them. I'm definitely only going to stick to the official Transformers line. And then a couple of things happened. I saw some of the great things that the third-party companies are doing, and I think there is a difference between third-party and knockoffs, and there is a difference. Third-party is creating something new that isn't already out there. The character might already be out there, but this particular figure is a complete different transformation. I don't really class those as knockoffs. Knockoffs to me are copies of existing toys, so I'm going to try and cover off those as two separate things. Now, the third party market has gone crazy. I mean, we've gone from having really collectors, 6 months ago, having two options of Megatron, the Masterpiece Megatron or an Apollyon third party one, and in the last few months we've had Despotron, we've had Mitron, we've got that Rioter one from I think it's Make Toys. There's another Masterpiece Megatron version 2.0 coming out. There's just that many different options, and each one of them are different. Each one of them cater for a different factor, for a different type of Transformers collector. So you've got your people who want your G1 toy accuracy. You know what? The first Masterpiece Megatron absolutely fulfills that for a collector. It feels, and yes, it's big and clunky, but it's like it's oversized, complicated version of the original toy. But then you've got people who actually, you know what, I want cartoon accuracy. And Mitron, for all its faults, people don't like the legs, people don't like the backpack. I don't give a shit about that. Basically, it gives you a more cartoon accurate Megatron. Despotron gives you more of a stylized Megatron, and Rioter gives you something just. The Rioter one just gives you something fucking crazy. It's a Megatron that we haven't seen before. Maybe a little bit more IDW. I think there actually is an IDW Megatron coming out, but it gives you options, and that's probably what us Transformers collectors aren't really used to. I mean, for 20 years of my life, there was only one version of Galvatron. Proper good. I'm not talking about a fucking Dragon or a repaint of an Armada one. One proper G1 version of Galvatron you could get as a toy. And when I saw Tyrant, and I think there was a Magna King version as well, or whatever it was, third party, the options, they fulfill a certain part of our collection that we really, really want. Give you another example, one I picked up lately. DX9's Terror, a version of a Shattered Glass Rodimus Prime. What are my Hasbro alternatives for this? If I wanted to have a Shattered Glass version of this, what would I have to do? Well, I'd have to pay a fortune for a repaint of a toy that isn't really worth the money that it's going for. I'm making this up here, but I've seen some of the BotCon exclusives go between £70 and £200. I don't know what it is, but essentially what I'll be doing is paying for a repaint of a deluxe figure for stupid money. Now, that doesn't really give me an option. What am I getting here? I'm getting something different. I'm getting something that I haven't seen before. The soul is of a character, but the toy is something completely different. And that's what third parties do. They give us an option and they give us something different. And that is something that you know what, I'm pleased I've stepped into. I'm really, really pleased that I've stepped into that third party market. And I think you need to draw the line about what you collect, because now there's that much of a flooded market. You could spend a fortune, and we probably already do as collectors. We spend more than we should do on the toys that we collect, but now you could go down so many different avenues. There's the IDW line, there's cartoon accuracy, there's toy accuracy, there's stylized pieces, there's all these things. So do I think that third parties are a bad thing? No, I don't. And in the actual homework video, we saw a Striker Manus, and asking the question, is this copyright? Is this Optimus Prime? Or is it just a red truck? And you know what? Of course it's influenced by Optimus Prime. How many other things in your day-to-day life do you see that is influenced by something else? How many times have you had a rip-off Mars bar? It's influenced by a Mars bar, but it's an alternative to it. It's just something a little bit different. Nestle make their chocolate, just a fact man to be talking about chocolate, but anyway. Nestle will make their chocolate, Galaxy will make their chocolate, Cadbury will make their chocolate, and it's still chocolate, but it's a little bit different. And some people might prefer the Nestle, other people might prefer the Cadbury. And you know what? Some people might like their Hasbro ones. Some people might like their third party, and you know what? That's fine by me. It's choice. So let's get on to the second point now. The second point is straight up KOs. So when a company has created something and another company has taken that and have reformatted, repackaged it and sold it at a cheaper price. Now, this is interesting. I own a couple of straight off KOs, and for example, I've got Prowl here. Masterpiece Prowl. His legs are a little bit loose. He's alright. He's fine. I wanted to have a scene in one of G1 Autobot cars. I'll be honest with you, I didn't want to spend the money of buying 3 versions of this mould at £60 a pop. No, I bought one of those versions. I bought the smokescreen, and I paid £60 odd for it. Lovely toy, really nice. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing. It's the same transformation. We're talking in the homework video about the fact that, is it right? Should we support Hasbro more? Well, in a way, I have supported Hasbro. If you look behind me, in these cabinets and all around there, when I was a kid, my parents paid for a smokescreen, a Prowl, a Jazz, a Silver Streak, or whatever it is. 3 or 4 versions of the same toy. The same toy. So over the years, us as Transformers fans have supported them. And it gets to the point where we still support them, but there are other options out there. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that there are other options out there. Now, I've got a guy here. My first Masterpiece bought to me by my folks at Christmas many, many years ago. I still lived at home, so God, it was about 8 years ago. A Masterpiece Starscream. I love Starscream. When I saw this, I thought, you know what? I want a Starscream. I didn't care that he was green in colour. I didn't care that his Decepticon logos were a little bit off. I wanted a Starscream. And then over the years, I released another Starscream, and the MP11. I'm not sure off the top of my head. With the Coronation set. I really, really want one of those Starscreams. I really, really do. And I've been looking on the internet for one for a while, and the cheapest I've seen them going for is £200. £200 for something. I know it's a bit different, but essentially what I've already got here. Essentially, there's some differences, but essentially it's the same thing. It's a remold, retool slot. It's like the jet mode. So, what do? Do I save up that money and buy a character I've already got? Essentially, do I miss that hole in my collection? Or do I opt for one of these BB7, or I think they're Cook and Bow figures that I've seen on Ben's Collectibles? I can get one of those for £70–80. They're virtually identical to the Hasbro Takara versions. In some ways, they're actually improved. Paintwork, that kind of stuff. So what do I do? On Friday, when I get paid, I'm very tempted to order one of the Cook and Bow Starscreams, just so I have one. I'm very tempted as well for the money to get a Thundercracker and a Skywarp as well. And for the same price as paying for a Hasbro version now, I'll be able to get all 3 of those characters for around the same price. So is it morally right? Well, probably not, because these are fakes. These aren't real. But at the end of the day, we've all pumped money into Hasbro over the years, and for what we want, is this really £60 or £70 worth of quality? Really? I don't know. I mean, some of the masterpieces are wonderful. I paid £50 for Masterpiece Tracks, and it is a pile of shit. His head will not stay up, and I've wedged it up with a piece of cardboard. I've spent over £50 on something that is substandard. My Masterpiece Megatron, it's a wonderful piece of engineering, but he can't hold his arm up. He can't hold his cannon. My Tron can. And I was jumping back onto third party, but my Tron can hold a pose. He can hold his cannon. His cannon fucking lights up, for God's sake. So it gives us some other things. So what am I saying here? I'm saying that third parties give us an option. In respect, they give us options about the toys that we actually get. The difference in our collections, the things that appeal to us, G1 accuracy, comic accuracy, toy accuracy. It gives us the options to fill the gaps and make our own collections rather than just following a Hasbro line. Third party knockoffs like this one, Takara knockoffs like this one, gives another choice. Sorry, my battery started to go down there. Takara knockoffs like this give us another choice. The choice of all of us who are working hard each week for our families and that kind of stuff, have homes to pay for, and you know what, we plough as much money as we can, but we can't get the things that we want. And what these do, they fill a gap. They allow a collector to actually, you know what, feel a bit more fulfilled and fill a gap for a short period of time. I haven't got many of these, but would I buy another one? Yes, I would. And do I feel bad for owning them? No, because at the end of the day, only I know it's a fake, and it's going to sit in a glass cabinet while I'm at work for 8 hours a day or whatever it is, and no one else is going to judge me for it. But it gives us an option on price, and I think we've all done things as I say, we've all done things for that option before. We all would love to go and buy a pair of Levi's, but sometimes, you know, it's for the job that it's going to do, you'll go and get a pair of Asda jeans, do you know what I mean? So, I know I've waffled on a bit, but there you are. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good rest of the week. See you later.